Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones. Upside alert. Upside alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there. There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach.
That is the team you promised me you were going to be this year.
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.
Episode 41. The season is over for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys, but more drama and hilariousness has been stowed upon us both on the same day. The hits just do not stop with these two teams. Aiden, where do you even want to start today? Happy Monday.
I think we should start with the fact that this was the first week that we went to 1 episode instead of 2, because we didn't think that our teams would be able to fill enough content at this point since they were out of it. And boy, was that prediction wrong. Just totally wrong.
It's just unfucking believable.
I'd argue that today there's more content to talk about than it stretches during the season when they were actually playing games.
145. I mean, we spent episodes just talking about the clown crew for 45 minutes. This is more, enjoyable to talk about than Darian Clown Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, how many episodes in a row did you guys have to hear us say, these teams probably aren't good. They turn the ball over a lot. They get penalized a lot. They're not good on defense. There's shaky quarterback play. There's injuries. Gets tiring after a while. Now we have some like VH1 reality show drama of sorts. Makes it a lot more interesting, I guess.
I'm pretty excited to get into this. Why don't we start Eagles side? Well, like we usually do, like chronological order. So what happened with the Eagles today happened before the announcement of what happened with the Cowboys. So let's begin with the Philadelphia Eagles and the bombshell that was dropped.
Yep. So Doug Pederson was quote unquote fired. I don't know. There needs to be a word in between fired and quit when you happily accept being fired. When you tell people that you are at peace with it and no worries. I mean, you're kind of my hero if you leave your job, they fire you and you're like, yeah, who cares? Because honestly, ever since I've graduated college and entered the workforce, that's all my dream has ever been is to just get fired and walk away and be like, all right, fuck you guys. See ya.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
See you.
So shockingly, after 5 seasons, Doug Pederson is out as the Eagles head coach. And I guess you could say the writing was on the wall, but at the same time, still very, very shocking.
Yeah, I really thought that Howie and Doug were both going to come back intact next season. It just felt very Philadelphia, very Eagles to me. And then the rumblings of the first, meeting with Jeffrey Lurie came out. And, it quote unquote did not go well. And he didn't like the direction of the team. And then you heard the rumblings, like you said, where Doug was just like, no, this is how I want to do it. And if you don't want to do it like that, then all right, well, I'm good.
Yeah. So a few things with that and going back to the chronological order. So let's go all the way back to the beginning of the season. Earlier on the weeks, we can pull clips from this show where I said, I don't think Doug Pederson wants to be here. He just doesn't. It does not feel like a vibe of somebody who is enjoying his job, wants to be coaching here, and wants to be here long term.
Yep.
And he didn't. He just wasn't there. So flash forward, and you brought up that meeting, the first meeting between him and Jeffrey Lurie, that quote unquote did not go well. Let's stop there. Vince brought this up a show ago because we're on relationships. If your relationship is going in a way where you don't like the vision of the future and the relationship isn't going well now, do you usually commit to more years of that future?
No.
Do you need a second talk about it to know? If you're like, I really don't like where things are headed. I don't like how things have been the past few weeks or past few months. Do you usually say to yourself, yes, let's keep going?
No.
Usually no.
You're usually like, all right, well, I don't think this is working. So where do we go from here?
Yeah, usually that signals a breakup, which is where we got to today with the second meeting. And with the first meeting, this is what I will say about Doug, because he is forever going to be one of the most special people and special coaches to ever be in the city. We are forever indebted to him, and I truly thank him. Like without him, this is so easy to say, but without him, there is no Super Bowl. And I think just the culture that he brought, I thought this team was just in a dark abyss until him and Carson showed up. It wasn't just that they were bad, it was that they were boring and bleak. So kind of like right now. But I will say that first meeting, it came out that his plan was Jeffrey Lurie asked him, like, all right, how are we going to fix this? And his ideas were just like promote everybody from within. It's like
all the guys that have not been doing good jobs, let's give them better jobs.
Yeah. Which I guess that's how politics works in this country. If you just fuck up enough, then you just become like U.S. Senator. So, I mean, the logic kind of applied here. But it was just like, okay, so your plan was to promote Press Taylor for a third time. Okay. Anything else?
What else? He's like, well, that Wentz guy, we can get rid of him.
Yeah, like his plan was he doesn't like Carson Wentz, which is fine. But it was like, you're going to promote the defensive line coach to defensive coordinator. You're going to promote Press Taylor for a third time. And you're upset that they're hiring an offensive coordinator because your brilliant move last year was you were going to be offensive czar, where no one got to say but you. Yeah. Then you had one of the bottom tier offenses in the league after you had ultimate say on every single offensive thing that happened, including play call. Like if I walked away, like that's where I'm at. I love Doug, and this probably was the right move, because if I'm Jeffrey Lurie, I walk away from that meeting where, like, imagine getting on the phone with your people, and you're like, okay, well, what did he say? What are we gonna do? And Jeffrey really has to tell people, well, we're just gonna promote Press Taylor again.
They're like, what? What does that mean?
Yeah, like I get it. Like you like the guy, but this offense stinks. Like there's just no. I just don't think that they understand from top to bottom, like how bad that they look. Like they're just shuffling the pieces. Guys, this puzzle doesn't work. It's not
never going to fit.
Not the pieces of the puzzle. It's the puzzle itself.
It's literally a puzzle of a piece of shit, but we're missing half of the shit.
Yeah, pretty much. And like every piece is a corner piece.
Yes, that's it.
They're not going to connect. They're not being put together. There's no different way that you can plug this that it's going to work.
They're 4 different pieces from 4 different puzzles.
Yes. Part of it is cardboard. It's like when Winston and New Girl is trying to put together the puzzle, and Schmidt's like, that's not even a puzzle piece. That's just a piece of cardboard. That's pretty much Doug's plan for the future. So I understand why they were worried about like committing to more years of that when it seems like they walked away from a 4-win season and he was just okay with how everyone performed as a coach. And it seemed the same last offseason where he wanted to bring Mike Groh back and he wanted to bring all of his offensive assistants back, and Jeff Lurie had to step in and be like, no, they are not good at your job. Like, why? How are you not seeing this as the coach?
He's eating too much ice cream.
Too much ice cream, man. So that's why I say it's so multifaceted. But that first part is, yes, this was probably the right move, but to be in this position is still just mind-blowing.
It's a great question here by producer Vince. Has there ever been a person that's gotten a statue and then fired within such a short period of time within a sports organization? Jimmy Johnson got fired after winning a Super Bowl, so
that's true. Did he get a statue while he was?
Oh, he's not even in the Ring of Honor. Jerry won't put him in the Ring of Honor for the Cowboys
because he doesn't
because everybody says that's Jimmy Johnson's teams and Jimmy built those teams and Jerry doesn't get any of the credit. So Jimmy Johnson, who won 2 Super Bowls and built the team that won the third, is not in the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor.
And here you are 25 years later. Nothing to show for it since.
Unbelievable.
But no, to answer Vince's question, I would say probably no, because most normal, sane people wait till people die before they build them a statue. Or at least when they're like old.
Didn't
Now,
Bud
well,
Light
there's
just
still
give
coaches
that
that-
statue, though? Didn't Bud
Yeah.
Light, where they're like, here, we have a statue?
But can't you be like, no?
Yeah.
Would Bud Light have been bad if they're just like, no, we're not going to do that? I don't think anyone would have really been that mad.
Mm-mm. I think Philly
So that's-
fans were kind of more confused about the statue than they were excited.
Yeah, like I don't know anyone who's like, yeah, I'm so excited to go take a picture in front of that statue when the stadium's reopened. Like, no, nobody cared about that. No, nobody enjoyed it. You know.
No.
So yes, that was odd. The other part of this is, like I said, how Doug just didn't want to be here, and I guess that goes over to my main point, which has been in terms of people that I hate, it's the entire Atlanta Falcons, which I'm sure we're going to get into here soon, and Howie Roseman. So imagine there's a job, and there's only 32 of these jobs. There's 7 billion people on Earth, and Doug Pederson would rather walk away than deal with this dysfunctional shit show. That's where they're at with things.
Do you think he's walking away knowing he has an opportunity somewhere else?
I think another team will hire him. I'm sure he knows what. He's got a ring on his finger. He knows someone else at some point will give him a chance.
Do you think he gets a job this offseason?
I could see it. You know, like if the Jets asked him and Joe Douglas have a good relationship, I'm sure he would go to the Jets because, I mean, they were terrible this year, but where's the pressure in that job? You're not going to end up with Trevor Lawrence. There's no real end to their dysfunction in sight. So
we'll see how Justin Fields plays in this national championship game.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Really, like he could make up his mind on if he wants to go to New York based on how this game goes.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time you wake up, you may know if Doug Pederson is going to the Jets.
You could be, and who his next quarterback's going to be. But yeah, I mean, I think a big thing of it is exactly what you said, that, you know, why would he want to stay within this dysfunction and work for this clown, Howie Roseman?
It should, yeah, that's exactly it. I think it's more so to deal with, he's just done with this. And I know the report from Ian Rappaport today was like, he talked to multiple people and he was just like done being told what to do. And I totally understand that. If your boss is shitty at his job, are you going to listen to him on a daily basis and be like, yeah, I'll just follow blindly to this guy? No, it makes no sense. And I want to bring up this article that I was reading today. And this was before Doug Pederson was fired, but it just was like eye-opening to me. And it's going back to the Press Taylor thing. And it's like one of those things you could kind of tell that Doug Pederson was on the way out based on the stories that were being written. And let's get into the leaks here soon. But it was going back. It was Doug Pederson's involvement and just adoration with Press Taylor.
Yep.
But they say Press Taylor has been struggling because people think he's really smart, which is fine. But it's hard to judge the guy on the cooking, meaning the offense, when he doesn't have the groceries. So this is what I'm so sick and tired of. The groceries meaning the personnel.
Yes,
so
that's Bill Parcells' old thing. If you want me to make the meal, at least let me go pick the groceries.
Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. We can't judge Press Taylor because he doesn't have the groceries. He doesn't have the personnel. We can't judge Doug Pederson fairly because since 2017, they've been riddled with injuries and the personnel has been bad. So you can't judge him on the groceries. And he doesn't apparently have a say in the draft picks. And Carson Wentz, we can't judge him because of the personnel. And he doesn't have a say in the groceries. Guess who buys the fucking groceries? Howie Roseman. Like, I just don't understand.
At the dollar store.
At the dollar store. He's not going to Costco. He is going to the dumpster behind Walmart where they throw out the old meat. And that's where he's finding J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and Jalen Reagor. It is insane to me how you could like look and just be like, well, we might have to get rid of these guys, but we don't really know because we can't get a fair assessment of them. But the guy who makes it so you can't get a fair assessment just skates by with no blame whatsoever. I just don't get it. I do not understand. And it is so hard for Philly fans to agree on something, but literally 100% of the fan base thinks this guy is a rat and is a problem. And Jeffrey Lurie just will not do anything about it.
He's like the dad where the kids are so excited. Dad went to the grocery store to get stuff. All they wanted was Cocoa Puffs for breakfast, and he comes home with like the brand that says like chocolate puff. It's like, and it's just like a brown box. It's like, no.
Or when your wife sends you to the store and she's like, I just need orange juice. We just need orange juice because it's a big breakfast. All I need you to get is a glass of orange juice. All I need you to get is a 6'3" wide receiver with physical gifts who ran a 4.3 at the combine and played really well at Ole Miss. All you have to do is go and get that orange juice. And he shows up with whipped cream. Like, it just, I can't get over it. Like, you can't be this bad at your job and keep your job. You just can't. It's impossible. And like this next coach who comes in, for so many reasons, why would he want to be here? But the main thing is accountability. Like, how could you preach accountability when your boss fails every single year?
Right.
And it's a constant failure. If you blow every single draft and keep your job, like if you're Darius Slay and you gave him 100 yards, I'm like, who the fuck cares? Like, everyone gets a free pass.
Yep.
Get out of jail free card.
Yep. It really is and especially when everybody knows it, but the owner of the team. Like they showed, I think we tweeted it at Branded. Like they did like a live stream, have Jeffrey Lurie and every fucking buddy on there was just like, fire Howie. Howie's the problem. Fire Howie. Howie. And it's like, what? Like, does he see this?
He's got to. I just don't. I do not know what he's missing. I really just don't. Like, you have to watch the games. You do see how hindered this team is of talent. And the other thing with Howie is this is what really bugs me. We have had all these reports come out. I just referenced this article about Press Taylor. And so it's Press Taylor's fault. All these articles about Doug Pederson. It's Doug Pederson's fault. All these articles about Wentz being unhappy and the fractured relationship and being a bad teammate. All these things get leaked from the organization. You never hear a story leaked about Howie Roseman. Nope. The only story I remember about him was that they said his best trait was self-preservation. You know who else preserves themselves? Rats. Because they live in a subway and they feed on trash. And that's how they live. Howie Roseman is just Peter Pettigrew from Harry Potter. That guy cut his finger off, and just as soon as Voldemort showed up, he was like, all right, I'm on your side now, like, just because I want to stay alive.
Yeah.
That's what Howie Roseman does. He will throw anyone under the bus. He would let Harry Potter's parents die if it meant that he could live. He would never sacrifice himself. He will throw Doug, Carson, Jalen Hurts, anyone under the bus. Chip Kelly. Like, Chip Kelly somehow has been vindicated in all this. Yes. He will throw anyone under the bus to make sure that he survives. And it is very, very evident who the real problem is. I have no interest in rooting for this team as long as he is a part of it.
How about Chip Kelly now? It's like, yeah, that guy's not buying my groceries.
Yeah. I can't believe that Chip Kelly sending that guy to a broom closet ended up being the smartest move. I don't know what happened, but Chip read it right away. It was like, this guy's a snake. I'm not dealing with it. And Jeffrey Lurie wouldn't fire Howie, but Chip was like, well, I'm demoting you as far as humanly possible. Remember, they had that civil war. It was like that scene in Avengers or Captain America when they were going at each other up in the sky. It was pretty much that, but like two middle-aged white guys.
It is. I mean, for a guy who roots for the Dallas Cowboys, who their general manager is their owner and makes every final decision and usually mainly wrong decisions, I don't feel sorry for you at all. Welcome to the world. Yeah,
but it's like, you want to have good culture. You don't want to turn it into something like that. But
no, I think Howie should be gone.
Yeah, it's just, and so it's like going to the next steps. Now you have to hire another coach. What coach would want to deal with this guy? It's very clear
Mike
like how they treated Mike Kafka. Well, yeah. Oh my God. No, I'm just no. I don't care. Just no. If we get a Kansas City Chiefs head coach and it's not Eric Bieniemy and it's Mike Kafka, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
What would you do?
I lost my mind years ago.
Honestly, what if it was Mike Kafka or Adam Gase?
Oh my God. I did say today, I will put it on record. If the Eagles hire Adam Gase as head coach, I will not root for this team. I will become a fan of the Atlanta Falcons, my sworn enemy. I will root for them to the death.
Because they're going to hire a good coach.
Eagles team. Yeah.
They're going to hire
Adam Gase. Yeah. That's the other thing. Like, there's so many other things of this. It's so multifaceted with just how dumb they are. But they weren't sure if they were going to fire Doug Pederson. So everybody else has done all their interviews, and now the Eagles are just getting into their coaching search, which, I mean, they still got time. But the bigger issue to me is, who would want to come here? When your sales pitch is, all right, so we don't know who our quarterback is, and we don't have any money to spend. And when it inevitably backfires, we are going to put all the blame on you, and our GM is going to leak a bunch of reports about you.
You have to make a Michelin star meal with shitty dollar store food.
Exactly. Who would like to sign up? It's like selling kids come on down. It's like selling kids on college right now. Can you go outside and play with your friends? No. Can you hang out outside of the classroom? No. Also, your classroom is actually just this laptop, and you have to sit at home. And you don't get you don't really learn anything because you're just sitting there in a Zoom with the teacher.
Can I go make out with my girlfriend in the hall?
No. Can't do that. If you're in college, it's college. It's like you can't live off campus apartment. All of your classes online, so you learn nothing. There are no fan activities to go to, like the football game on Saturday. And that'll be $60,000. Would you like to sign up?
No.
No.
It's gonna be interesting, and I can't wait for the shows coming up that we can talk more about who they're really targeting. And I'm very interested to see what this process looks like for the Eagles. Is it going to be a quick turnaround? Is it going to be like the Cowboys last year where they interviewed 2 people? Or is Jeffrey Lurie going to do a very in-depth search for this hire?
Yeah, did anyone lock themselves in a bunker this last season that we could hire?
You want Mike?
Not a chance.
And then we'll have Kellen Moore be our head coach.
I guess he's not going to Boise State, so it's a chance.
Kellen Moore will be the Dallas Cowboys head coach within the next 3 years.
I totally agree with that. You can see that coming. We should probably get into your head coaching search because not head coaching search, defensive coordinator search, because I have zero faith in anything with the Eagles and their coaching search. I don't even care who the head coach is. It's like I said with the Sixers when they were in their problems. Yeah, Doc Rivers is great. He's a good guy. He's a good coach. Who the fuck cares? It could have been Greg Popovich coaching that team last year. They wouldn't have won because the front office was so bad. And that's how you have to feel right now. So that's enough you can say on Howie the Rat Roseman.
As Waddle makes a catch back for the Alabama Crimson Tide, another Alabama receiver who is better than Henry Ruggs.
He's back?
Yeah, he's playing.
Wow. I did not know he's playing tonight.
He limped off the field, but he's back.
That's not great. The kid broke his leg 2 months ago.
So Dallas Cowboys finally fired Mike Nolan. Did we report this on the last podcast? I don't remember when that happened compared to.
I think we reported it week 2. We were just pretty sure that this.
Yeah. Well, I was pretty sure he deserved to be fired. Wasn't pretty sure that he was going to actually be. So he's gone. Dallas Cowboys search began immediately for a new defensive coordinator. Names were flying everywhere, and like Dallas Cowboys media, Dallas Cowboys fans do, they bring familiar names in that honestly had no chance, like Chris Richard. Bring Chris Richard back. The fuck did Chris Richard ever do for this team? He was the passing game coordinator for a team that was almost dead last in defensive passing. No. All he did was yell and get in fights. And then they're like, Wade Phillips. I love Wade. No, he's been out of the game now a year. He's 143 years old. It's time for Wade to just, take a nap. So
take a nap.
Then there was the guy in Atlanta Look this up for me, Vince, because he may be coming to Dallas too. The Atlanta Falcons passing game coordinator from this past year. Again, for a team that came in dead last in defensive pass efficiency. They want to hire the passing game coordinator from the Atlanta Falcons to become their defensive coordinator because he worked on Mike McCarthy's staff in Green Bay, because of course he did. Mike McCarthy just hires his friends. Who is this? Yes, Joe Witt. Yes. So
how do I know that name? Joe Witt. Joe Witt Jr. He did a thing at a time and a place.
he did
For
with the
sure.
Atlanta Falcons.
Well, more than that.
So it came out that they were targeting him. And then it came out. What are we looking here? We're looking for a time.
We'll figure it out
There he
later.
is. Coach with the Green Bay Packers.
No, he did something.
Anything
He
else?
did something, but we'll figure it out. Continue with your thing.
So then it came out that Dan Quinn, the fired Atlanta Falcons head coach, former Seattle Seahawks defensive coordinator, was emerging as a top candidate on Monday. He was flying out to Dallas, and then a couple hours later, it was announced that he has come to an agreement, terms with the Dallas Cowboys to be their new defensive coordinator. Now, there's a possibility Joe Witt comes with him, but if Raheem Morris stays and gets promoted to full-time head coach for the Atlanta Falcons, there's a chance that Joe Witt stays there. So we'll just start on Quinn. We got one of the assholes, the head asshole from all of the assholes, to be our new defensive coordinator.
Oh my God.
How excited are you?
I wouldn't hire a member of the Atlanta Falcons to do any job at any point, anytime, for anything, ever. If I was a manager at Target and needed a part-time cashier, and all he had to do was ring people up and be like, okay, it's going to be $28.03. I would not hire a member of the Atlanta Falcons to do it because I genuinely don't think that they could bag groceries and hand back change. I don't think they could feasibly do it in an efficient manager. I just don't.
It was $23.48. The person hands them $15. You'd be like, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, see ya. I would not trust a member of the Atlanta Falcons to do any job for anything at any point ever.
So I agree with you. I'm very blah about this hiring. It is what it is. I am glad that it wasn't one of Mike McCarthy's butt buddies. They've never worked together, so I am happy about that. They also need to hire a defensive line coach, because another one of the 17 former head coaches that they put together to run this Dallas Cowboys team that did not win, Jim Tomsula, was also let go for the Cowboys. But I mean, Dan Quinn was a very, very good defensive coordinator for, the Legion of Boom in Seattle. But you have to look at the team that he was coordinating and the players that he had. But you know what this is going to bring up immediately back into the fold in Cowboys land, right?
Well, there's a few things. Like first thing I think of is the game week 2 when they blew a lead.
No. I'm just moving forward. What are now that Dan?
That Dan Quinn will take over as head coach?
No,
you don't see that happening. Like the defense plays okay, and Mike McCarthy's bad again.
Take over head coach is going to be Kellen Moore.
Oh,
but he was the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. Cowboys don't have a good secondary. Cowboys have an infatuation with a former safety. Yeah. That is just going to be fucking all over the place, all over again.
Is Guaranteed. That still a thing, though? Like
it wasn't, but now it's going to be again.
Oh, well, yeah. I feel like at some point it's like going to be the new Calvin Johnson, where you're just like waiting for him to come back. I don't think he's coming back.
No, we've got inside knowledge of why he's not going to come back.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, from what we heard, no.
Yeah,
it's not.
So, it is what it is. The Dallas Cowboys have a lot of issues that they need to fill on the field with players. They're going to have to draft almost exclusively defensive players this entire draft. I think they're going to have to go corner, safety, corner, safety in the first 3 rounds of this draft, and maybe bring back a guy like Awuzie or Jordan Lewis on a 1-year prove-it deal, because there's nobody back there except Diggs, who's going to be a second-round guy who had an up-and-down season. So Dan Quinn does not have a lot to work with on the defensive side. We'll see if he's going to be coaching Jalen Smith or not. But, yeah, you fired a coach and we hired an idiot.
That about sums it up. I think we have the title for this week's episode.
Just like, welcome back. The NFC East goes round and round.
Congratulations to Ron Rivera, who is now the most tenured member of the NFC East.
That's unbelievable. That's like Baker Mayfield is the oldest quarterback left in the AFC playoffs.
That is very wild. That one is actually really wild. That's more wild than the NFC East thing, if you ask me.
Like the NFC average quarterback age left is 37, and that's only because Jared Goff is 26. It'd be much higher with that 43, 41, 37. And then the average age in the NFC is 24 and a half, because there's 2 25-year-olds and 2 24-year-olds.
Yeah, wild. That is very wild. That's a very wild stat. But yes, so that's what a day. What a day between these two teams. Just, it never ends.
Never.
Just never ends.
Even when, we're trying to have a peaceful, Monday and look forward to a national championship game. We're coming off 18 hours basically of football this weekend. And here we are back in the spotlight for not good reasons.
I don't know what this, I just didn't think that this would be how the offseason went.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't expect it to be smooth sailing for either of our teams, but I didn't really expect it to go like this. Where isn't it funny how we always expect the lowest for our teams and they still end up getting even lower than that?
Yep.
Like, did you expect a day like today where, like we said, we were like, all right, let's cut back to one show because there won't be a lot of content. And then something like this happens. You're like, how just why? Just why?
Maybe because they listen and they're like, we're going to fuck with these guys.
The Eagles, breaking news, not really breaking news, but the Eagles have already reached out to Lincoln Riley about being their next head coach. Here's more on that and some other candidates. So
is that just because of the Jalen Hurts connection?
I think everyone's high on Lincoln Riley right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked him last year for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think his shot is inevitably coming.
Yes.
So
just he can almost call the shot. Where does he want to go?
Exactly. And like we talked about, the way that Oklahoma runs their offense is trending towards the way that offense is going to run in the NFL here soon. So it's just only a matter of time. Whether here is the right spot, I don't know. Do you want to hire another college coach? This innovative college coach mind? I will if he puts the GM in the broom closet again. At least the college coach last time had that figured out.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see on that one.
All right, you want to get into the games that just happened this weekend, who won, who lost, our MVPs, and then we'll look forward a little bit heading forward. And, I mean, that's Master T, one of the best college football names of all time, running back.
I'm watching the Sixers game.
Huh?
I'm watching the Sixers game.
Ugh.
So I am missing out.
Master
but also,
T.
why? Hold on. I'll save my Sixers rant. Just.
Yeah.
How are we 10 months into this pandemic and we still don't have this shit figured out? Like, this is just.
I think we know why.
Theme is common sense. Just how are we still trying to figure this shit out? How does Howie Roseman have a job?
I think we all know why. Why? How does Howie Roseman have a job, and how does somebody else that leads one of the biggest countries in the world still have a job? Kind of.
It's not even money at this point. Howie Roseman is costing you money. You have negative $71 million. How do you have a negative $71 million hole and keep your job? Jeez. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Because he's a Patriot.
Oh, don't get me started. He could go be a Patriot in New England.
With Carson Wentz.
With Carson. No.
All right.
So the Browns
So
won.
yeah, how about that? We don't really have to talk about all these games. You watched the games, people, and if you didn't watch the games, you all have a thing called a smartphone. Go to the app or just go and Google and find out who won and who lost. But that Browns game coming out strong, and I loved every second of it. And then in the middle of that game, don't tell me Kevin Stefanski wasn't sweating in his basement like, oh, we're going to fucking blow this.
I know. If I was a Cleveland fan after what I've been through, yikes, I would have absolutely been like, okay, this is not trending in the right direction. But
When it got down to
28
like,
nothing start.
And then it got down to 12, I think.
Yeah, it got down to 12, and then the Steelers punted on 4th and 1.
Yeah, again.
Guys, there's 12 minutes left in your season. What are you doing?
It's like that sounds like punting in an overtime game where you could play to win or play to tie.
Yeah, and you could end up not having a job if you do it. That was my breaking point with him, to be honest. But Browns won.
Yeah, overall, I was very happy with the games this weekend. Exciting games. The worst game was probably the Saints-Bears, but I mean, we had Nickelodeon for that. So.
I was about to say, my big takeaways: 1, oh my God, that Browns first quarter, and 2, no offense to Carrie Underwood, she does a great job on Sunday Night Football. I would like more SpongeBob intros, please. That was my main takeaway. I saw this guy bet. He bet 2,000 Bears money line, and he didn't even have 2,000 he barely had 2,000 in his bank account. Imagine losing $2,000 watching Nickelodeon.
and Mitchell Trubisky won the Nickelodeon MVP award too.
Yes, the MVP.
Yes.
Nickelodeon Most Valuable Player.
Congratulations.
Nickelodeon Valuable Player. That is incredible.
But I mean, the Colts Bills game, I think we had that pretty much on the dot. That was going to be a good game. The Colts were not going to, just run away and die. The officials this weekend, I want to talk to you about your coward rant.
Yes. What was the end of that game? It was ridiculous.
How many close plays in that game? It seems like every touchdown lately there is like a close call where it's like, oh, we got to review. It's like no one just walks into the end zone anymore.
But it's also not, like they're also close, but they're also not close. And we're making them seem closer because we're just watching it 100 times till we overthink it. And then we're like, was it a catch? Did he have 4 feet in? Wait, you only need 2 feet? Is it college where you only need 1 foot? Do I have feet? Can I swim? Am I an amphibian? It's just like, it just goes off the rails.
That's why I text this weekend. I'm like, I want to do during a playoff game, have the branded, have us just hop on a live stream while it's happening on the field, and we make the call. Like we're just looking at the TV, like, huh?
That's how I said in my rant that's how things should be decided.
Mm-hmm. Like you're at a bar, which I don't know what that's like anymore. But yeah, the end of that game was ridiculous. But I was not expecting the Seattle Seahawks to kind of lay down and just die the way they did.
That was the most surprising game of the week. But, that's a team that has a lot of questions because my main takeaway is it is very hard now to win. If your quarterback is not on a rookie contract, it is almost impossible. The Seahawks are example A. Like they won in 2013 back when Russell Wilson was young. Haven't sniffed it since because they could spend all their money on the defense and now they can't. So I don't know. That was my takeaway from that one.
Guess who's about to be in that hell?
You didn't get your ring in the meantime, buddy. Nope. At least I can fall back on that. I got my ring in that window.
You did. Let's bring producer Vince into the fold here. We're going to do our Birds versus Boys MVPs from the weekend.
MVP of the week.
The BVBMVP.
That's
I just want to see
working title.
Do you guys remember this?
I'm going to do what I do here and take the Browns.
You have
This
to.
guy.
You were like the first one to put them
Yeah.
in the power rankings and really believe it.
You guys remember that?
No. Even though, is that my voice? No,
Do you,
I mean,
do you also remember when I said Chase Young was going to have a bad game and then he only had one tackle?
yeah.
I guess you guys weren't the ones telling me I was wrong there. That was the TikTok comments.
I was going to say, TikTok was not kind to you on that one. We were very much in agreement that you probably should talk Tom Brady in your first playoff game. But the Browns, I will give you credit. You were the first one to put them in the power rankings. And it was like the first one you did it where it wasn't even a joke. So that's how serious you were about the Browns. You weren't even kidding when you put them in, when usually your rankings are just pure chaos.
The TikTokers were not happy with Serious Vince.
Oh, yeah.
Well, look what happens when you get Serious Vince. You go 5-0-1. So
not bad.
All right. So let's do our BVB MVPs
of the week.
BVP.
So we're going to do 3, and we'll walk from 3 down to 1. Let's have. I'm gonna start since I'm the bottom of the triangle for once, or I'm always the bottom of the triangle, but I'm gonna go for 1 first. So my number 1, who's actually my number 3, BVB MVP. We're going down from 3 to 1. I actually have an honorable mention. I'm gonna go honorable mention for Jalen Ramsey because he was all over DK Metcalf, annoying him. DK was turning into Des Bryant when Des Bryant used to cry all the time about getting the ball. Yes, he had 2 touchdowns, but it was on blown coverage. Jalen Ramsey is a beast. But my number 3 comes in. I'm going Baker Mayfield. Thought he played really well, controlled that game, led that offense on drives when they needed it, especially when it got down to 12 points. He leaned on the running game, but was able to hit Jarvis Landry over and over again and then slip screen to Chubb. He played really well and controlled that game. So Baker Mayfield 3 for me.
Very good one. I think that might be a recurring theme. All right. My number 1 BVB MVP of the week is the Ravens defensive line. They get the win. Congratulations to the Ant for getting out of the Sharpie circle. You guys did it. You finally got out. You passed 1 hurdle. So they held Derrick Henry to 40 yards total on 18 carries, good for 2.2 yards per carry. Correct me if I'm wrong. He had over 200 in the playoff game last year. I could be wrong with that, but it wasn't pretty. So a complete 180, dominated up front and shut down Derrick Henry and got redemption. So the Ravens defensive line is my first one. At number 3, really. Number 3 BVB MVP of the week.
My number 3, I think it's real hard, to come in, watch your starting quarterback get taken off the field and on a stretcher. So for backup quarterback Jared Goff to come in and win the game against Russell Wilson, that's really impressive for a backup to do. So
that's fair.
He's my number 3.
But also present backup Jared Goff.
Love it. Number 2 for me, I'm going with the GOAT. Chase Young went at him, and he took his face and threw it in the dirt, rubbed his nose in it. Tom Brady, he looked unstoppable at times during that game. He just looked like Tom Brady, and it blows my mind that was his first ever time playing in a wild card game, and he dominated.
I guess when you play the Dolphins and the Jets for 12 years, that's their 20 years. That's how it goes.
Yep.
But yeah, that is actually pretty wild. And I saw this other stat. There's been 11 times where a quarterback has thrown more than 60 times in an NFL playoff game. The other quarterbacks are 0-7. Tom Brady has done it 4 times, and he is 4-0 in those games. So no one else has completed more than 60 times or past 60 times in a game. And Tom Brady has won 4 times. But my number 2 BVB MVP of the week on the opposite side is Taylor Heineke, who, why was he not just playing this entire time? You could have saved this whole tanking controversy if he would have just played last week. Guy throws for over 300 yards, throws for a touchdown, rushes for an incredible touchdown where he looked like 04 Michael Vick. Why was this guy not on the field the past few weeks?
They might have won 12 games this season if he started.
Yeah, it felt like it watching him on Saturday. So Taylor Heineke, aside from across the board from from Tom Brady is my number 2 BVB of the week.
Taylor Heineke would have been way too obvious of a pick for me to make, so I don't have him on my list. Number 2, I have a pick similar to Kevin. I have Tom Brady's aura. You know, like not Tom Brady himself, just the energy around Tom Brady I have as my number 2, because Chase Young said he wanted Tom Brady, and without even touching him, Tom Brady ruined that guy's career.
That's fair. Now that you've explained it, I get it.
Makes sense. Makes perfect
Tom Brady
sense.
didn't even have to mention his name. He heard what he said. He probably looked at him in like first snap of the game. His career's over. Sorry, Chase Young. You had a good run.
Of 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
He won the NFC East.
On a team with no name. So number 1 for me, I was going to put Heineke here, but then I was like, I can't put a guy number 1 who didn't win the game. So I am going Cam Akers. Dude played out of his mind. You can pull a rookie running back out of seemingly nowhere and plays really well, and you don't have to pay $50 million a year to a running back. Wow. He ran for 131 yards. He dominated that game. Got dinged up late, but he was a machine in that game.
You also don't have to use a top 5 pick on a running back to get a good, consistent.
How about
running back
that?
either. How about that?
You can get like Donnell Pumphrey in the 4th round.
Yeah. You know, with Chris Carson, Austin Eckler, Alvin Kamara available, you could just go Donnell Pumphrey. Who cares?
San Diego State.
Jesus. All right, my number 1 BVB MVP of the week. This one may be a little obvious, but I'm going with Baker Mayfield. I think you can't understate what he did to beat Big Brother for the first time on the road in 17 years. No turnovers, 3 touchdowns, and just come out like that. I am so impressed. I give them all the credit. Give the Browns their flowers. The Steelers look like the team that didn't get the practice and didn't have a head coach. And I think a lot of that is Baker Mayfield keeping the team together. And then the dig at Colin Cowherd after the game was also pretty cool when he flipped his hat around. I like I like how Baker has that little swagger, I guess is the word, but more just like douchebag to him. Not like overbearing, but just like enough douchebag that it's funny.
It's like just enough. You know, when like you see a recipe and it says salt to taste, like when they were making Baker Mayfield, it was like douchebag to taste.
Douchebag to taste. Yeah.
Perfect.
My number 1, I went defensive pick here. It was the person with the biggest takeaway of the weekend. I have Dan Quinn. He took a job away from a person who deserved it. I think it's the biggest takeaway of the weekend. Honestly, the most impressive one I've seen in a long time.
And this is actually perfect. That was a perfect segue to what I was going to bring up right after this, because I just saw a tweet here that has the Falcons defensive rankings under Dan Quinn since 2015. 16th, 25th, 10th, 28th, 20th, 29th.
Not bad. How did he have a job that long in Atlanta? How?
How does Howie Roseman have a job this long?
Who? How? Why? I don't know. I cannot figure these things out. NFL GMs and owners are living in a different world than I'm living in. Not just because of our financials.
Because they lose touch with reality. Like they have assistants for every single thing. Like they have a pick up my phone assistant. They have a pick up my dry cleaning assistant. They have a grocery. They have assistants for everything in their life. They just don't. They're just like, I don't. They just forget. Like they forget how to do real life things or jobs. They're like, oh, well, he's good.
Yeah, Howie's like, my assistant was supposed to draft a good running back in the 4th round.
Yeah, my fire him assistant is sick. He has COVID, so
yeah,
I don't know how to do that.
Fire Howie. I wasn't supposed to one to deliver the news. I'm above that.
All right, Vince, hit us with a couple questions, then we'll get out of here.
Did you just bleep yourself?
I did. So you couldn't do it.
All right. I asked this question last week, but I still think it's a good question. Who's more likely to upset Browns or Rams?
Browns.
I would say Browns, yeah. They're not going to, but I think they have the ability to keep it close and cover.
Here's why. I can't remember who the Rams play.
Packers.
The Packers.
Oh, then yes, also Browns. That makes my decision even easier.
Even though, I mean, that Rams defense is legit.
I had the Browns
are-
too, though, just because the Chiefs haven't pulled away from anyone towards the end. Like, they haven't been like playing these blowout games that you expect from the Chiefs. Like, they've been letting people hang around. And I feel like if the Browns get hot, right, like if we're seeing the Browns getting hot right now, that's not going to be enough.
The Chiefs struggled with the Falcons. The Falcons.
Dan Quinn, baby. Oh, no, he wasn't there anymore at that point.
He had been fired at that point. But Vince, you have to say Browns. You have no choice in the matter anymore. I will say this. Do you trust Jared Goff in the cold at Lambeau Field with dislocated thumb that just got surgically repaired? Me, not
against Aaron Rodgers.
Against Aaron Rodgers, yeah. No. You don't make money.
Yeah. Anything other than the Packers offense is not going to matter in that game.
Nope.
Very true. All right, question number 2.
All right. Let's go with this one. Who has more rush yards, Lamar Jackson or the Bills?
I will say Lamar because he has the capability to break off a big run like we saw on Sunday, where I believe he broke off a 50-yard run, which kind of skews it. He had over 95 yards rushing. And, the Bills do run the ball, but it's not the best thing that they do. So I will say Lamar.
Yeah, I'm going to say Lamar too. Allen is pretty much their running game, quarterback too. Singletary is a good running back, but not great. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this Bills defense does have a little bit of shortcomings. So I could see him shredding them for 100.
Also, the Bills secondary is really good.
Yep.
So they could blanket the Ravens wide receivers. And what's going to happen when they do that? Lamar's just going to take off.
Yep, exactly.
I was thinking the same thing. Last one. Who do you think? Doesn't this feel like we didn't really get a good highlight out of Wild Card Weekend? I feel like we're going to get a highlight out of this weekend, and who do you think gives it to us?
Highlight in what sense? Like highlight play, or like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened?
No, one highlight, like blockbuster play.
That Tyler Lockett one-handed catch down the sideline was pretty unbelievable.
Yeah. like you mean like the
who gives us the Hail Mary at the end of the game, or like
yeah,
or like just some ridiculous bomb down the field.
Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs to win the game.
That's a really good one. I was going that way. I would love, because I believe the Bills are the 3 seed. So if the Chiefs win, they would be on the road. So how great would it be if the Bills win in the last waning moments of the game at home in their last home game of the year, in a playoff game at home, which they haven't won since when, like 1995?
With fans there. Yep.
Yeah, with fans there. Some fans. I did enjoy that they had fans. So I just agree with Kevin. I think that would be awesome.
I do think it would be awesome. And Stephon Diggs already had his. You get 2 in a career.
Yeah, well, does that one count when you get the shit kicked out of you 38-7 the following week?
And when he was in purple?
Yeah. Does it count when you play for the Vikings?
I liked your pick, but I just don't know if Stephon Diggs gets 2 in one career.
I think he's on a warpath this year.
Okay.
Sure.
I like your pick too. I'm going to go with it.
I don't have any disagreement with that.
My pick is either going to be that or Lamar Jackson just has some ridiculous run where he makes like 4 people miss. That was my other guess.
I could see that too. I could see, or I'll give one more. Nick Chubb having a run that's eerily similar to the Marshawn Lynch Beastquake, where he breaks 4 or 5 tackles to score and just kind of shocks the Chiefs in the midst of doing it. So that would be mine if I had to choose one that isn't the Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen walk-off.
Or that exact same thing, but it's Kareem Hunt against his former team.
That too. I did find the tweet very funny today. They're like, here's an interesting storyline. Kareem Hunt going back to the Chiefs, the team that gave up on him. Is that like the best phrase for like giving up on a guy who kicked a woman in the face? Like, did they give up Or did he
did he
kick
just
a
say-
woman in the face?
Yeah,
Like,
we're not dealing with this.
just that was like I don't know if he meant that, like he actually thinks the Chiefs gave up on him, or if he just worded it poorly.
Yeah.
But either way, wow, what a take.
They kept Tyreek Hill, so
That is true. If
That
there was
is-
video, no, they would not have.
I'll tell you what though, that's in the running for an episode title. Did they give up on him, or did he kick a lady in the face?
Yeah, did he kick a woman?
Episode 41.
Maybe if they win, then if he has this run, we'll bring it up next week. Can't believe the Chiefs gave up on him.
All right, before we get out of here, I'm going to run down each game. Just give me a winner. So 4:35 on Saturday, Rams at Packers. Aiden?
Packers.
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 Ben?
Packers.
8:15 Saturday night, Ravens at Bills.
Bills walk off. We just
Bills.
dreamed that
Bills.
up for them.
Sunday 3:05, Browns at Chiefs.
Vince?
I'm going Browns. I have to.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm going Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are on thin ice, though. I think they've been screwing around too much.
10 points. The line's at 10. That's way too many.
That I don't like that. Yeah. They've
Chiefs
been
give up.
fucking around.
Like if you're
Yeah.
a betting person, for sure take Browns plus 10. Like that's lock of
Yeah,
the
well,
week.
I think they can cover.
Mm-hmm.
As
What's the last
future
one?
future Eagle Devontae Smith scores a touchdown.
Sixers are down by
Buccaneers.
22.
Huh?
Sixers are down by 22. I don't know why much.
Sunday at 6:40, Buccaneers at Saints.
Are the Saints good? Like, are we sure?
No.
Are
And
we
I don't
positive?
think
I know it's late in the game to ask this question, but are we positive that that team is actually good at football? Bucks.
they're very confusing. Yeah, I'm going Bucks. I don't see Brady losing to that team 3 times this year.
No, Bucks.
All right. Well, those are our picks, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go out this weekend and enjoy all of these games while drinking stateside vodka and perusing the old Twitter sphere at branded_sports and Birds vs. Boys pod on Twitter. Find us on TikTok and wherever the hell you listen to podcasts, and of course our YouTube channel. Shout out producer Vince. Aiden's around. And thanks to the Eagles and Cowboys for dropping bombs this week when we dropped down to one show.
Get it? Peter Pettigrew is Animangus was a rat because he was a rat. Get it? Like, he acted like a rat, so that's why he transformed into a rat.
Thanks for explaining that. I think you're the first person that figured that out.
Do you guys get it? It
How
took me
you-
a while, but I've figured it out. Just kind of how like Jeffrey Lurie hasn't figured it out yet. That Howie Roseman is a rat. Like you get it? No? Okay. See ya.
Howie Pettigrew.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it. Yeah.
Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things.
I got 2 phones.
Upset alert. Upset alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there. There's no hope. Hope is
Dude,
gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm gonna drink bleach.
That
Be
is.
the team you promised me you were gonna be this year.
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.